A commenter to one of my videos asked about my thoughts on the Loosh Farm. And I've hesitated to answer because there's a lot of overlap with things I've already brought up. But when I hear the term Loosh Farm, my impression is that the Loosh is like a subtle energy or prana, okay? And the farm would be the cultivation and harvesting thereof. So human beings, by virtue of identifying with a physical and conceptual self, have an energy body that's transmutable into multiple levels. So its vibration can vary. And so there is, in this idea of a Loosh farm, the existence of astral beings. So this brings up the question of what constitutes life, right? So like for example, a virus might not exhibit all the requisite qualities of life. It's just partial, and it requires a host to reproduce because it's genetically incomplete. So mental content has a way of modulating the energy body, the vibration of it, if there's belief that it relates to a subject with which there's identification. So animals don't have this, but humans do, because animals don't have a conceptual self that can be insulted with words. So humans are an energy source, and one that, by virtue of thought content, can be manipulated energetically. So the idea of the Loosh farm must also include a Loosh farmer. So you have the crop, which would be the prana of the human population, the energy bodies, and the farmers would be a team, if you will, one expressing itself in the phenomenal world through gross bodies, and then the other being subtle bodies that influence those gross bodies. So subtle formations in consciousness, thought complexes with underlying energy that vibrates at a certain level. So those things are fed, and they replicate in beings through conditioning. They hold these ideas, these constructs, and they're fed like a straw into just this energy body. So the idea with the Loosh farm is that there's a symbiotic relationship between the subtle and the gross beings, wherein the former are fed by the latter through the cultivation of certain frequencies of energy body. And somehow, well, that business is lucrative and rewarding in its own way. So who can say whether the formations in consciousness really can do anything or really have any plan, but they do create an effect on people that does yield unconscious behavior. So the state of being that is held on average within the population would be a function, I guess, of the effectiveness of the Loosh farmers. So if people can be more identified with superficial things and ideas, there's more things to trigger them. And then, of course, the use of algorithms and basically fifth generation warfare, what it does to the energy bodies of those exposed to it, it would certainly be palatable for lower astral beings and their proliferation, and good for their proliferation. So the issue with this situation is that as technology increases the efficiency with which we can destroy, the level of unconsciousness in the population, and therefore the leadership, it does not bode well. Like, if the amount of power that technology can put into any set of hands, the more random that set of hands becomes into which dangerous technology can be placed, the more imperiled humanity is. And so the condition of our souls, on average, is important in a world where there are technologies that are dangerous and more easily accessible. So if our technology outstrips our consciousness, that is when we end as a species. And who knows what happens then? Maybe we'd be like a dead planet, and when you hold a microphone over it, you just hear the screams of the damned.